Escalation Protocol.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a bunch of people assembled in this public space, which means that they can play together, but other people can come up and play with them. And with the interaction, what do we see rising up out of the ground here?
So this is some technology that Rasputin has embedded in Mars around his area in the public zones. And whenever it activates, it draws waves of Hive into the location. And Rasputin's doing this because he wants you to take all of them out before the device deactivates and the Hive manage to escape. So he's trying to corral them in for you. And every single time one of those rises up, as you play the event more and more, it'll bring a stronger wave of Hive with a stronger boss you have to fight.
Yeah, like it starts out, moderately easy and then ramps up to get pretty difficult by the end of it.
Yep.
So let's talk about the structure of the event. Yeah, they just activated the event, and it plays out in waves.
That's right.
Yep.
How many waves?
So there's 7 total waves that you go through until you reach the end of the event. And the 7th one, it's no longer the just crashing like horde of Hive. There's actually a unique boss fight that has a unique mechanic, and we're actually even one-upping that one more level because we have 5 unique bosses that are going to rotate every week.
Okay. So each wave has its own boss.
Right.
And then the final wave has a final boss, and week over week, you have 5 of them, and we will face a different final boss week over week.
Correct.
And then once you've played for 5 weeks, you will have encountered all of them, and then
it'll restart at the first one
You can
again.
face them again.
And some of the bosses drop things that other bosses don't. So
Unique rewards to
Exactly.
specific bosses?
Yep.
Unique
Exactly.
rewards to this activity too.
Okay.
Yeah, there are things that drop from this activity that you can't get anywhere else in the game.
So we are seeing people who are fighting with some weapons that we've never seen before, and we've seen the Graviton Lance before, but some of the other Guardians in this
yes,
fire
there it goes.
team are using weapons that are specific to this activity. Talk to me about why I would want to play Escalation Protocol if I am a lover of new armor and new loot and different ways to fight.
So the weapons are pretty insane. So you see right now they're using the shotgun, Ikelos shotgun. They have unique perks on them. So when he takes a melee on the enemy, and then he gets a damage bonus on his shotgun for a few seconds.
It feels a lot to me like Fourth Horseman in some ways, which was one of my favorite weapons from D1. But it's kind of cooler because you melee to trigger it and then just unload on the guy.
Yeah, and so that's only the first weapon. We actually have 2 other legendary weapons that are unique. We have a sniper rifle, which has a perk called box breathing, where if you aim down sights long enough before firing a shot, it'll then get a big damage boost to your critical hits.
Okay.
It's such a big damage boost, you're like, whoa, like, I can't believe I did that much damage with 1 bullet. And then it has triple tap on the gun besides that, so you can get some really good, like, high damage moments if you can make all those shots.
That's one of the things that we've needed to add to Destiny 2 is specific activities that give us specific rewards, that have specific perks that help us excel in those activities.
Yeah, that's another part of community feedback that we've been hearing loud and clear. We really want to deliver it with Escalation Protocol.
And the armor set is super cool looking as well. It's very like Rasputin sort of themed. And when you have the full set in completion, it just looks pretty rad.
And you're only going to get that armor from this activity.
Correct.
That's right.
So talk to me about how the character progression is structured. If I'm playing Escalation Protocol, what can I expect to earn week over week? What can I expect to earn every single time I complete all 7 waves of the activity?
So we have a few different reward systems that working at the same time inside of the activity. One of the, I think the most desirable one.
Don't wave at the boss.
That's a high value target that's messing with them right now.
Okay.
In the public space, like stuff collides like a really, really fun ways. But so we have several different systems. When you finish the wave 3 and 5, a chest will spawn that has more kind of normal public event type rewards in it, as well as chances of vanity items that you only get from this from Escalation Protocol.
Yeah.
The most desirable stuff comes from beating that boss at the end.
Okay.
We have 2 different systems. We have those guns we mentioned.
I'm going to interrupt you. What do we got here?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well this is the Hive Sword. You may remember it from the first Destiny. Go get another one. Go get another one.
Yeah, someone else can grab one too.
Yes.
So there are these shadow rifts that spawn, and you have to take those out, or Hive aren't going to be drawn to the tower, and the time's going to expire. So when you go to take those out, there's a knight that spawns with a sword, and if you kill him, you can actually get the sword for yourself.
Nice.
And it's happening right now.
And this is exactly the same sword as we had in D1 that fans may remember from that game. So you can even you can use a super and use a smash, and you don't want to do it on exploding thrall probably. But you can also sword glide with the melee through the air. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of fun, and it breaks up the encounters really well. It's also actually really important because some of these waves are going to just take a massive majors or other like high difficulty targets, and they're going to just throw them at you all at once. So instead of maybe using your super or some heavy ammo, you can grab a sword and delicately try to carve your way through them.
This isn't just about shooting Hive and shooting wave after wave after wave of Hive. You're seeing some interesting mechanics here. You're seeing some things that they'll have to work together to accomplish. You see, like you were saying, sort of the shadow rifts. You're seeing some of the crystals that are suspended up in the air. So, while we can leave some of that problem solving, some of that understanding to the people while they play, what would you tell them about some of the different complexity that you've added to the activity?
One of the things we found is that things like melting point or even tether, as they're using now, are going to become pretty critical, especially as you move into later waves. So when we've been playing it, we regularly will stop before the playtest and coordinate, okay, what are you bringing? Like if I'm bringing Celestial Nighthawk, can you bring Orpheus Rig? And that stuff that hasn't really been needed ever in public spaces before is needed now to complete this.
Yeah, when you aren't running someone with a melting point, or you aren't running Tractor Cannon with the new exotic update, has this amazing damage buff that it can give to targets, you're going to notice the difference.
Cool. We're seeing some new items enter their inventory.
Yeah. One of the items, he may have just gotten one of the armory codes. So you can get armory codes during the event and for doing other things on Mars and around the game. And you can spend those armory tokens to get a special weapon during the event that you're probably going to need at some point in order to progress forward.
Yeah, we call it the Valkyrie, and it's basically like a incredible, I don't even know how to describe it accurately, but it's like a magical spear rocket launcher that destroys absolutely everything. And those armory codes are going to be really important for when you're on the crux moment or time's kind of running out and you need to get that extra oomph to get through a wave. And you're going to want to use it at the right time, and it's going to make the difference.
Should we debut that weapon
on
stream, or should we save it for the players to discover when they play for themselves?
Well,
grab it.
Yeah, grab it. It's almost too good not to use.
Here we go. And we're up. This is the Valkyrie. You can see the Rasputin-style tech on board. It's a melee weapon. It's a ranged weapon.
And it only lasts a short amount of time.
So use it wisely.
Yeah, use it wisely. You want to bring it out maybe when the boss for the wave comes out, or when a huge amount of ogres spawn, for example.
That was a good moment for theatrical demonstration purposes. Maybe not the best tactical moment.
I'm not going to criticize the person playing.
We're showing and we're showing. We're showing here. We're showing and telling. And I'm seeing things hidden under bridges that I'm not going to talk about. So we'll again keep that promise and leave.
Oh, there's your sword.
There you go. Have your sword. So which wave are they fighting now?
So they're in the third one right now.
Okay.
There's 7 total.
Seven total. And they've been getting through these pretty readily. Keep in mind that we're using high-level characters right now.
We have had streams before where we wanted to prove the activity was hard, and what happened was our audience watched people die again and again and again and again.
We actually started testing this out like that. We had them at the proper level.
Yep.
The level people be at the first week of play.
I'm sure there are people watching who attended our community summit who actually got to experience this activity, and they'll be going live after stream with their own, their own analyses, their own takes on what this is. We made them play at a much lower level, because we wanted to demonstrate that this was hard. But for the purposes of this stream, we've leveled these characters up to the point where they've completed the campaign. They've probably played this for a few weeks.
They have weapons that drop only from this.
They have weapons that only drop from this, which make them better at performing in this. So a character's first experience in this activity may be very challenging. Failure may be the default state when you first get started.
In fact, you were talking about having
Hang on. What's this?
Whoa, what's this? Whoa.
So here we have Cosmo is demonstrating some of the different armor that we can take a look at. And the best way to show off your armor to yourself is to do some emotes. And we now have an emote wheel. I think you're a little bored with all those green emotes, but we can definitely get you some better emotes through your commitment to the game.
Oh, you can see the amazing helmet that you get only from Escalation Protocol.
So we've got the new emote wheel. That goes in for every single player of Destiny. It's one of the Season 3 upgrades. Escalation Protocol is exclusive to Warmind.
That's right.
That's correct.
And just to recap, rewards that are specific to the activity.
That's right.
You made it real hard. In fact, what was the feedback you got at the summit?
Yeah, so actually, Jake,
at the summit, they were finding it difficult, but the feedback we got was that they would prefer if it was even more difficult. And we were really close to being locked down, but we managed to squeeze in one final change specifically based on the community feedback from the summit to make it even harder.
Yeah, the day of the summit, right afterwards, Jake and I went back up to our desks and got cranking on making a change and getting all the right channels involved for it. And so now it'll be even harder. It's what people asked for.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Well, we're about to find out. We're about to find out if people should have been more careful about what they wished for. So this begins on May 8th, along with Warmind. It must be said that you need to finish the Warmind campaign before this is even available to you.
Right.
Correct. Though, if someone else has actually started it, you can engage and follow along even if you haven't finished the campaign, which, you're probably going to help make a difference by being there. You're also going to be probably kind of wrecked. It's because you will be lower level, but at the same time, people can res you. Your bullets will count. So by all means.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is all waiting out there in the wild, and people can dive in after they finish the campaign or during in progress if they want to get punished. We call it Escalation Protocol. We will actually leave this activity now and leave the rest for discovery by our players. So this fire team can go back to orbit for the next act. We're going to break live. We have a fire team on the surface of Mars. You may have been to Mars before, but this is an entirely new landing zone. So let's take a look at what we can see here. You said the polar ice caps of Mars are melting.
Yep. And
there's a view of the skybox. We can see our old friend Phobos in the distance. And we've got some space junk raining down from the skies. And then if we pivot left, we can actually see what you were talking about. So the polar ice caps are receding.
Yes, and they're uncovering a time capsule left on Mars, which is Clovis Bray. It's the cradle of invention. It's the birthplace of all the technology that we know in the Destiny universe today. And it also happens to be the birthplace of Rasputin. So in the distance there, you can see that we have a huge facility, and this is Rasputin's stronghold.
And it wouldn't be Destiny if we didn't have public events and crazy things happening in an ambient world. So Rasputin is on Mars. You're telling me Rasputin was born on Mars. We don't want to overspoil the story elements that we're going to learn in this game. Hot take from the community. Stop telling me everything I'm going to learn.
Absolutely.
Stop mortgaging the gameplay to make your streams awesome. So we are going to leave a lot of the player discovery on a lot of the story for the actual player experience. I'm sure you'll explain to us how Rasputin can be on Mars and in old Russia at the same time. And we will satisfy all of these curiosities. I know we have plans to do that. For the time being, this is your first glimpse of the place on Mars where you'll be exploring, where you'll be playing. This is where the campaign will take place. But then even after the campaign is over, you have reasons for us to come back to this place.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have thawing right next to Rasputin. We have the Hive. So we have a whole new frozen Hive that's on destination that's there to challenge the players.
Yep, and then part of that Hive, the Awakening, is we have the Escalation Protocol event. That's a ritualized public event that we encourage you to play over and over again with escalating waves of difficult combatants to fight. And on top of that, we have plenty of secrets and lore squirreled away and hidden in parts of the destination. And we're really looking forward to players unearthing that and uncovering that and learning more about the Bray facility and the Bray family.
Yep.
It's been an interesting construct of science fiction where you have the company. You have the corporation, and you have the evidence of commerce, whether it's Wayland Yutani or whether it's the Tyrell Corporation. So Clovis Bray is our own storytelling fictional corporation, and we're going to learn a little bit more about Clovis Bray, including some of the people that were involved in the operation of Clovis Bray. Is that right?
Absolutely, yes. We're actually introducing Anna Bray.
Anna Bray.
Anna Bray.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Anna Bray is a new hero that we will encounter during our adventures. Anna Bray is she serves an important role in the storytelling as well as the player experience.
Yeah, she's the cornerstone of a lot of the things that we're doing in Warmind.
Okay.
And so she'll be your friend along the adventure. She's going to be your vendor. And she's going to be, like I said, that cornerstone on unraveling the relationship between Rasputin, Clovis Bray, and herself.
Well, we're going to actually show the prologue for Warmind, and this is going to be an introduction to Anna Bray. If you don't want any spoilers, this would be a wonderful opportunity for you to go and fix yourself a tasty beverage, because we're going to play the prologue in just a moment here. Before we do that, I want to thank Evan Nikolic and Brent Gibson for being on stream with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for the work that you've done to give us new things to play and talking to us a little bit about your creative vision for this expansion. Warmind comes out on May 8th, and we hope you'll be right there with us to help bump into us in the wild, play some Escalation Protocol, and shoot some frozen Hive in the face as they come out from underneath these receding ice caps, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've been waiting almost 2 years now. We're really looking forward to May 8th.